Hi everybody, Coach Allison back, and we're in week 25 for Defy Aging. So this week we have a medium-sized circuit. We have 6 exercises, but we do have some longer interval times. Last week we had really short interval times, so we're going to flip that. We have 60 seconds on for round 1, 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Round 2 is 40 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and round 3 is 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So the rest time stays the same, pretty medium with 30 seconds. Your work time is going to reduce with each round. But yeah, that first round at 60 seconds on is going to be a nice challenge, okay? There's a few exercises that have different right side, left side. So you'll switch sides halfway through with each of the rounds. So at the halfway point, you'll switch sides for those. Everything else is just going to be, find a steady pace that you can maintain for that long period of time. And don't overdo it right away because, again, 60 and 40 seconds is a relatively long work time. So keep that in mind for those first 2 rounds. And then we do have a little, after those 3 rounds, we are going to end with a little arm finisher. It's not our team builder. It's not our finisher, but we're going to end with a little final circuit that just involves the arms. So we're going to kind of have 2 circuits involved in our main workout this week. Okay. All right. Let's review our exercises. Station 1 is a lateral box step. So we're going to start straddling your box. You can choose your height. So there is a lateral box run in which we go with something lower, and we're going for speed with that. Typically, we're kind of running up, running down. Just for doing a lateral box step, I want to go more for the height than the speed. So you can see I stacked up 2 boxes. But of course, do whatever height is appropriate for you for safety. And we go up, up, down, down. I recommend always looking down at your box. So don't look down so much that you have to hunch forward, but just kind of drop your chin, use your eyes to look down. That's my recommendation because you don't want to miss your step and do this, and you don't want to be coming forward and kind of step off it. So always be looking down at your box. Anyways, that was just a little safety tip. Up, up, down, down. You can get a little bit of speed going, but we're not running it like we are with the lateral box run. Anywho's, at the half, notice how I'm leading up and down consistently with my same leg. I'm starting with my right leg, so I'm going up right, down right, up right, down right. That is the leading leg. At the halfway point, your coach will call out halfway. Now I'm going to begin leading up with my left leg. So that's how we're going to switch the leading leg for this exercise. Okay, so that's our lateral box step. That's station 1. Station 2 is the pal-off press. We haven't done this for quite a while. We're going to have one of the bands, tubing with handles tied up, anchored to your side. Okay, so step out until there's a little bit of tension on it. You can adjust by, coming in farther if it was too hard, coming out farther if it was too easy. Obviously, you can make that adjustment here. But you want to start with the hands at your chest, and we press forward and then release it back in. Again, now this feels a little bit easy now that I have a couple reps done, so I'm just going to take a little bit of a step out. Now that feels better. So you can adjust as needed after you try 1 or 2 reps. What you want to do though is make sure that you're not kind of, compensating. If you come out too far and it's too hard, you're going to have to, your form's not going to be great. Like my hip is kind of now coming in, my shoulder is cocked up, So if you want nice straight hips here, you want shoulders level, and you don't want to be having any of this wonky, any of that. So you just keep it form really good like this. If you're having to do any bent elbows or shoulders up, the resistance is too heavy, so step in just a little bit. Or use a lighter band, either or. Halfway point, all you have to do is turn around, face the other direction to get the other kind of side of your body. You should feel it the most on the side of your body that is by the anchor point. So the band was to my right, so I was mostly going to feel it on this right side. That's why we do want to turn and get both sides. Okay, so that's our pal-off press. That's station 2. Station 3 is a half kneel band row. Okay, so we are in our half kneel position. We do a lot of stuff in this position. It's great for stability, balance, and all of that posture. So we're gonna do it this week with a band row, okay? So another band thing anchored to the racks, so we're gonna be doing a lot of that. FYI, your coaches might opt to do either the Palloff press or this band row with your cable. If your turf space is a cable machine, you can do either the Palloff press or the band row. You can do either of those with a cable machine. So it might be done with one of those. It's not wrong. It's just their choice to maybe do that instead. So yeah, keep that in mind. So we're in this nice tall half kneel position. We're going to do palms facing inward for this row. Last week we did the TRX wide row. So that was a row variety. This week we're going to do neutral grip narrow row. So we are getting that variety with our back exercises with our rows. All right, sit up tall. You'll have to plant your front foot and really plant your knee, because this is going to create a sense of pulling you forward. So you have to combat that. So first of all, you're not leaning. And second of all, you're not like, whatever this is. I guess it's leaning. It's just leaning in the opposite direction. So neither leaning positions, neither of them. You have to combat that by just planting your knee and your foot, using your core muscles, staying up straight and tall. And then, of course, we're doing that normal back row. So squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep your shoulders down. So don't allow any shrugging to happen. Remember, you're pulling your hands down here by your rib cage. You're not pulling your hands up by your armpits. Okay, so hands should track right down here by your ribs. So I'll do a couple of them. I'll switch sides in case that gives you any sort of different view. Speaking of that, you will switch your leg, your knee, half kneel position halfway through the set anyway. Chest comes out. So that always helps to squeeze those shoulder blades together. See how I'm kind of popping out my chest as opposed to sort of caving in the chest. Big difference. Nothing is happening in my back right now, or minimal, when I cave in my chest, but now a whole lot more is happening between those shoulder blades. All right, that's our half kneel band row for station 3. All right, one thing I did forget with the half kneel row, anyone staying off the floor for the kneeling exercises, we're going to take that up to a staggered stance for the row. So it'll look like this. It's really the same. Like, this is your kneel. This is your staggered stance. So it's very similar. You'll still switch sides halfway through. So yeah, very, very, very similar. That little change there, that's your alternative for staying off the knees. The next station is another agility ladder. We had one last week. This week we're going to do the lateral in, out steps. Okay, so a little different. Let's see how much of the ladder I can get in the camera. There we go. All right. So I'll just do it first, and then I'll explain what I'm doing after. So we're going to step in, out of each box as we go down the length of the ladder. Staying on the balls of the feet, just like any agility drill. Okay. And now I'm going to go back this way towards you. In, out, every box. As I'm going forward and back, I'm also going sideways. And I want to reiterate, or maybe just iterate, that staying on the balls of your feet does not mean you're on your tiptoes. It just means you're not putting your heels like fully down on the floor. It's like you're leaving a paper thin space between your heels and the floor. Okay, because I see when I remind people to stay on the balls of the feet, then I see a lot of people kind of doing this, really staying up on their tiptoes. And that's really not what that means. So just keep that in mind. It just means you're not like stomping your heel down. And that helps you to stay more agile. If you can picture like a boxer or any kind of fighter, like in a boxing ring and a ring, they are just kind of like ready to move. Like how I'm not like putting my heels all the way down, but I'm not on my tiptoes. I'm not like this. So keep that in mind. That's what we mean by staying on the balls of the feet. One little tip here. Whatever direction you're moving on the ladder, lead with that foot. So for example, I'm going to be going to my right. So I'm going to step in with my right foot first and continue that pattern going down as I go to the right. Reason being, if I step in with my left foot first right now, but my body's moving to the right, I have to cross my leg over, and then that gets all jumbled up and I'm going to trip. But if I step in with my right, out with my right first, in right, outright. It just, you won't have, your legs won't have to cross each other, and it'll flow really smooth. Then when I get to the other end, and then I'm going to be going left, I'll lead with my left leg. So I'll show you. Watch, the first step I take in is always with my right. Right, right, right. Now I'm going to be going back to my left. I'm going to lead with my left leg. Watch. Left, 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 left. It's all part of the coordination, a lot of the agility, and it's part of the cognitive part of all of these ladder drills. Okay? And that's our agility ladder drill for this week. All right, next station is a goblet sit stand. So we got our kettlebell, we're going to hold it goblet style. Some people like to hold the bell. I prefer to hold right at the base of the handles. So that's your preference. Okay, and we have either whatever kind of benches, boxes, stools, the red plyo boxes, whatever your club has for the boxes is fine. Make sure the height's appropriate for you, however. And it's literally sitting and standing. It's a full sit stand. A box squat, that's where you come down into a squat and just tap your butt to the bench and you come up. But the full sit stand is a sit to a stand. It's quite literal. So if we're going to do that, I'm going to actually come to the side so you can see something. But we want to keep a few things in mind. I'm going to come like an inch forward from the box. So I have a little bit of space. See how I have a little bit of space between my leg and the thing. I don't want to come fully here, because then what happens is your leg hits before your butt. And you kind of want your butt to hit it first. That makes sense. Once you sit, you want to keep a nice controlled sit. See how I'm not I'm still very controlled. I'm not plopping down, so I'm not like plopping down like that. Ooh, that was too hard. That actually hurt my back. I'm not like swinging back with momentum. Definitely not picking up my feet. So never let your feet leave the floor. So you are taking a full 100% sit. You're letting 100% of your body weight come down. But you're not doing any of that stuff I just said. You're not losing control. You're not swaying back. And when you come up, it's a controlled stand. So watch out for any momentum. Again, that momentum would be like getting a little backswing first. And the whole time, all the while, you're holding this kettlebell at your chest height for the goblet part of it. So that is our goblet sit stand. All right, and for this station, it's a chest press variety. So it's going to be an isometric plus a single arm press. So what that means is one arm, which arm's better to hold it? Okay, one arm is holding in a chest press position. So it's up and it stays. The other arm is going to be doing movement, normal press. Okay, bend your knees for this. That gives you some back support. So you always want, when you're doing a floor press, you always want bent knees. Halfway through the set, when your coach calls out the halfway point, because there's a lot of things switching sides in this routine, you're going to now hold that arm up and begin pressing the other side. So it's very important, the arm that's holding still, lock it in straight. Be sure it's not holding like, do you see how when I bent my elbow, how much harder it was for me to maintain stability here? But when you lock that arm in straight, it is much easier because it's straight up and down. There's no wavering at all. I mean, there'll be a little bit from your shoulder, but when you put any bend in that elbow, it's much, think of just like, I'm trying to think of like a flagpole. This is a stupid example, but it's the best I can do off the cuff. A flagpole is straight up and down. It's going to be strong and sturdy, or a tree. I don't know. That's worse. But if there's like if the flagpole has any kind of like a kink in it for any reason, a bend in the bar, now it's going to be way more like in the wind. It's going to move around more. It's going to be harder to remain sturdy and strong. I think that's a good analogy. Maybe in my head it works, but keep that in mind. It made sense to me. So yeah, when that one arm is the isometric arm, you want it to be straight and strong at the elbow. Try not to have a little bend in the elbow like this. Okay, keep that in mind. And it can be hard because you're focusing on that other arm. So what can happen is when you're focusing on the moving arm, this arm can start to do this. So there is a lot to focus on. Do your best. Anyone that is staying off the floor for our floor exercises, the coaches can wheel in an incline bench for you for that. And we can do that exact same thing on an incline bench. Okay, so now that we are done with the big circuit for the routine, we're going to end with a small little circuit. I guess it would be kind of like circuit B. And it's going to be just arms. So I'm going to split the group into two parts, two teams, I guess. And I'm going to do 30 seconds of bicep curls. Just normal curls. Palms are going to stay forward. So this is going to be 30 seconds. Just a nice steady speed. Make sure you're not swaying your arms back and using momentum, but also make sure you are letting the arm come all the way down like this. So don't stop the arm like 3/4 of the way down. So that's our bicep curl. The other part of the group is going to be, I point over doing a tricep push down with the band for 30 seconds, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, we've done these a lot, so I'm pretty sure everybody knows what these look like, but we'll definitely still review. So the other part of the session, the group is going to be doing tricep push downs. You have a few bands, depending on how many people are in your session. Palms facing forward. I like to stagger my stance, as you can kind of see, but you can stand parallel if you'd like. Tuck the elbows down at your sides, and we push down and slightly back. So straighten the arms all the way, okay? Okay, meaning don't stop like right here. Also, don't let your arms come all the way up like this. See how I'm keeping, grab both handles. I'm keeping this part of my arm. Ooh, that's hard. I'm using both. Okay. I'm keeping this part of my arm still. It's not coming up here. So this part of the arm stays still. The only part of the arm that's moving is the bottom part of the arm, forearm. So 30 seconds there. We're not timing the rest times, just enough time to switch. So half the session is doing the push down, half the session is doing the curls. Switch, 30 seconds, switch. We're going to do each thing 2 times. So you're going to curl twice, push down twice, and that's kind of our second little mini circuit for the routine for the week. Okay, and then the team builder after all of that. So we're going to be doing a squat, hold, hot potato. Okay, so you'll be in a circle with your session mates. You can, I want either super light balls. So this gym has some 2 and 4 pound like solid medicine balls. Or you can use the silver sneakers balls that are pretty much weightless, but something light. You don't want to be tossing a ton of heavy weight around for this. Unless your coach is, in a mood and they want to use a full slam ball, that's up to them. So, but you're going to be doing, again, in a circle with everyone relatively close, so you can be tossing this to everybody. You're going to be doing a squat hold, so come and do a squat. So like half, maybe 3/4 of the way down into a squat. If you have the strength and stamina to hold a full all the way down squat and hold it, that's amazing. Go for it. We're going to be timing this for 30 seconds. And you're going to do a little I'd have no one to toss this to, so there, I did my one. But, you're going to be tossing this to, it's a hot potato. So random people, you're going to be tossing it to whomever, and then someone might be randomly tossing it to you. So be paying attention, especially if you have one of the weighted balls. Really be paying attention because you don't want that coming at you and you're not ready for it. So you're isometric, hold with the legs, and focusing on where that ball might be going. So 30 seconds of that for a nice little leg finisher and a little bit of fun. So that's our team builder. All right, folks, so that's week 25. Hope you enjoy some of these moves. We'll see you back next week.